Hey guys, and welcome to another money making method onto my channel. So in this episode we're going to be killing frost dragons. Now frost dragons require a couple of levels to be able to do. The only 100% requirement for frost dragons is 85 dungeoneering. This will allow you access to the dungeon to actually kill frost dragons, and that is pretty much the most important thing to get first. In terms of levels and stuff like that, I highly recommend getting a herbal level to be able to make super anti-fire potions. And this will protect you from the frost dragon breath if using a two-handed weapon. Things like overloads and decent combat stats as well are recommended because that will just improve your kills per hour and also the length of your trip as well. Now you can take a Padyak with 96 summoning to bank the bones, but what I prefer to do is use magic no paper. It just means that you're not constantly spamming on a special and you can take a more aggressive familiar as well. Now one of the things I really recommend is the bone crusher. Now this isn't just for destroying the bones, which you can use as a prayer method using the penance powder as well. However, this is to actually collect and pick up the bones for you. If you have completed the arc or bought the reward from the shop, I think it's for 25 Taju and 25k chimes. It basically auto picks up unselected bones on your bone crusher. So anything you're not choosing to bury, it gives you the option to automatically send that bone, once it's dropped on the floor, to your invo straight away. Now, don't get me wrong, with frost dragons, area looting is a possibility as well, but you'll be running between dragons quite often. So this is what I use to make sure that the bones come straight to my inventory. As you can see, frost dragon bone is not selected on the bone crusher option, so that bone will automatically come to my invo. And that's why I've got a lot of space as well, just so when it comes time to note all the bones, I can note a decent amount as well. In terms of the setup, you've got quite a lot of options here. I've just gone for the standard AFK range setup, but melee does work pretty well as well. In terms of an invo, I've got a cannon just for aggression more than anything. I have the Elder Overload Salves, but you can quite easily do this with a normal overload and a super anti-fire potion, which will make sure to protect you from the fire. I've taken a Ripper Demon because I want something aggressive to be able to attack the frost dragons as well. Magic no paper, which is what basically like links this whole method with being able to be done in one invo. Some weapon poisons as well, for some more DPS that will pair with the cinders in my invo. Spring Cleaner, just in case there's any ackables. I can't remember the frost dragon's drop rate because it's been so long since I've been. And Excalibur, just in case I get into any problems. Teleport to there. If you've got the DG cape or 120 DG cape as well, you can go straight to the Ice Frost Dragon lair. All right, so here we are. Let's go straight in. And myself, so you've got the north and the south. There's not really any difference I've found between the two. So I'm just going to park the cannon in the middle and get that firing, and then pretty much any sort of AoEs you've got or any abilities where you can just make sure to hit as many as you can. So Greater Ricochet here for my bow is going to be the best item possible. In terms of an aura, I'm just going to use Penance just because that will give me unlimited prayer. I can just pretty much chill and not look at the screen. And yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Actually, make sure to take your cannonballs, would be a bonus. I've also summoned a familiar as well, just to make sure I've got summoning points. And so the reason we're killing frost dragons is the only real thing on their drop table which is worthwhile is these things here. Frost dragon bones, currently 29k each. So let's go and kill them, see what they're like for damage. I thought these would be packed. They usually be packed in the old days. So get the cannon going, soul split, and then yeah, pretty much AFK from there. What I would say though as well, because you are going to be killing them with a two-handed weapon, which in case I am, definitely keep an eye on your overload, because once your overload goes, they will absolutely slap you up. So just make sure that that's sorted. But as you can see, the bone crusher is doing work. The bones are automatically coming to my invo. Yeah, this is pretty much it. It's very AFK. Like I said, the only thing you really got to check and make sure is happening is that your overload's fully topped up. And just keep on attacking the dragons. Now, occasionally you will hit a point where all the dragons have been killed. By this point, just go and attack the one straggler which ends up floating off. And then hopefully by the time the rest have respawned, you're ready to go again. Now, if you're really struggling for spawn times, what you can do as well, there is a north spot further ahead, which have got plenty of frost dragons as well. Now, if you're waiting for spawns for your cannon to pick up, you can go and kill some of these. Again, you don't need to go and actually loot the bones. You can just attack these when you've got a bit of time free, and then when you're waiting for spawns, and the bone crusher will just pick the bones up as well. So it's pretty good really, because you're always in combat over here, and you can always make sure that your bones are picked up. So as you see, the thing's going to wear off. So an idea for killing these as well is also to do them on a higher spawn world. The chances that they'll spawn a lot quicker than you have now. Admittedly, this is a Monday afternoon, 20 minutes for update at 10:40 in the UK. So that's why the worlds are a bit dead, and that's why it's probably taking a little while to spawn up as well. Moneymaker, if you're going to train an account up or get some stats on accounts and get some combats, this is definitely a very good way to earn some money while doing it as well. Obviously, bossing is another alternative or some other decent money makers, but if you wanted something quite chill and laid back, which isn't Slayer or bossing, this is definitely an option as well. You can also fund your own prayer training through the use of Frost Dragons. And this is why I prefer to use range as well. The range on the bow means that you're not always dragging yourself across just to kill one dragon, especially that one in the corner which doesn't seem to be lured very well. And it also gives you a chance to have reach, especially with greater ricochet or ricochet itself, to get some attacks in. Now, if your inventory is full when a bone's going to get looted, it's just going to put that bone on the floor, which isn't too much of an issue because it will stick out. Because pretty much all the other drops are just coins and arrows and stuff which really ain't worthwhile. Any rune drops which are on the table for Frost Dragons, which I'm not too sure about, will just get picked up by the Spring Cleaner as well. And because of the cannon currently the south, where we were killing originally, all the others will just get looted into one big pile and become aggressive as well. So once we've finished killing these at the top floor, we can just go down south and they'll be ready for us to kill as well. If you ever did need some emergency food, they do drop sharks as well, so you can pick them up if needed. Pretty much as at the 2 overload dose, so that's 10 minutes worth of overload. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did forget my cannonballs in the first instance, and I had to go and run around and do some rebanking on stuff as well. So that's a 10-minute period, which, don't get me wrong, it's a bit of a small sample to take from, but with Frost Dragons, because you're basically doing the same consistent method for the full hour, it can be used to go off sort of as a mil per hour sort of calculation. So total for the 10 minutes, we got 58 bones. Now 58 bones translates to roughly 1.685 mil, which, considering the wiki says it's 9 mil an hour, isn't actually too far off. If in fact we did a little bit better. I do think if you're on a slightly higher spawning world and you also did have the whole room to yourself, so you can set the cannon up on either north or south, and then once your set of spawns on your side were done, you could go to the others and start killing them as well. As long as you're consistently killing Frost Dragons throughout the hour, you will definitely make 9 mil plus per hour. I've not looked to see if there's anything's been out during that 10 minutes as well, so if you get any out, that's just more profits on there as well. But in terms of a moneymaker, this is something definitely worthwhile for a lower leveled account. Just to build your combat stats up as well. For a main, you can do that as well, and rather than collecting the bones, you could use a powder burial to actually get active prayer XP every time you kill a Frost Dragon as well. That is a decent prayer option if you wanted to train that. Maybe if you wanted to train an Iron Man as well, that could be an option as well for you as well. But very laid back, very chilled, and it's actually pretty decent GP an hour just for killing some Frost Dragons. But my top tips for this method, I would definitely use range because it gives you more of a range from the creatures. Melee will just keep dragging you from one to the other, whereas range gives you a chance to kill more per hour, in my opinion. I would definitely also get the upgraded Bone Crusher from the Ark. It won't just work here, it will work at a number of creatures as well, and it makes methods like this so AFK and so chilled out. The only time I was really clicking the screen was to do things like upgrade the cannon or use the notepaper actually on the bones. The ability to auto stock cannonballs as well is something which is such a quality of life for loads of things, not just this method, Slayer and other boss creatures as well. It's only going to take you a little bit of a stint at Artisan Workshop, which is what you should be doing for training smithing anyway, but it's definitely going to be beneficial to your account as well. But that's my Frost Dragons method. Nothing too fancy, but it will definitely guarantee you between 9 and 10 mil an hour based off current prices of Frost Dragon bows at 29k each. Could they go higher? Absolutely. They are one of the best methods to train prayer. So prayer at the minute is getting more expensive by the day. It's one of the most expensive Bibles going. So it definitely could get more expensive as well, which means more profit for you. But I hope you enjoyed. If you have, please leave me a like and a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.